Hi, I'm Fifi, and this is Going Deeper with the Lord. It's Monday, and on Mondays, we share lessons we have learned about relationships. So, I recently made a post, and that started with everyone has a story. But I feel like the posts that I'm making, they're very short, and sometimes they don't go in depth. And the one that I made about everyone has a story, it's something that is very close to my heart. So I thought that I can just make it and then elaborate it a little bit. And I'd say that every one of us has a story, and every one of us was born into an existing story of our parents, and our parents were born into an existing story of their parents, just like that. um, so the purpose of just sharing this is just to show that sometimes when we get in relationships with others, we just get into a relationship with a mindset that we're going to do life with that person. But relationships are hard because they don't come like a cup that is bought from the store. When we buy a cup or a coffee mug from the store, we just buy it for its beauty, and we buy it for its purpose, for us to drink from it. We don't care about who made it. And even after we bought it, the person that made it doesn't influence us in any way, or doesn't make the cup act in any way. It's just a coffee cup, or it's just a coffee mug. So we are not like mugs. We come with stories. So back in the days, in the 1900s, when I used to be in the world before Christ, I was in the dating streets, and most of the questions that were asked were, what's your hobbies? What are your interests? What's your favorite color? And now that after I came to Christ and after I grew in the Lord, I realized that when people get into like online dating sites, they get in there with self-serving motive. They don't go in there to say, oh, I'm looking for a girl that I can serve. They are looking for people that align with what they like, so that it makes their life easier. If they're into traveling, they can travel together. If they're into sports, they can watch sports together. There is no one that has ever asked me, so where do you come from? Do you have any traumas? Have you healed? Have you done the work? Have you done anything like that? But after coming to Christ, I realized that we shouldn't date like the world. After Christ has taken us through the consecration process, after Christ has sanctified us, after he has healed us, when we do relationships with others, we have to be aware that the same way that we did the work, we're looking for people who have done the work as well. Because healing is messy, and you don't want for someone to heal in front of you, for them to go through that process that Christ took you through in front of you, because it is hard. And I had also mentioned that, like I mentioned, that everyone has a story, and every one of us was born into a story of our existing parents. This became a reality for me in around 2018, 2019, when I was working with the unhoused youth in Hamilton, Ontario. I learned a lot from young people who were living in a youth homeless shelter. And these are the kids that we see in the streets, and it's easy for us to judge them and wonder, like, what happened? Why did they run away from home? But when you sit down and talk to them, you realize that most of them ran away from home, or most of them are where they are because of what happened at home when they were young. Most of them are where they are because mommy or daddy chose a partner over them. Most of them are where they are because of the situations that were going on at home that they could not stand. So we see them in the streets and we think that it's their own fault for being where they are. But in reality, their lives were messed up by the adults in their lives who were supposed to protect them. but failed to protect them. So when I got that realization, my heart for young people like grew so gentle and so compassionate. And I love working with young people, especially the ones that come from troubled homes, the ones that experience challenges with mental health, with instability, and with all those things. They are the ones that I love working with, because I realize that nobody wakes up and say, "Oh, I want to be in the streets when I grow up. I want to be homeless when I grow up. I want to do drugs when I grow up." Nobody says that. It's nobody's goal. And it's not like they like being out there in the streets being taken advantage of. The life circumstances put them there. So I have always worked with young people. When I used to live in Botswana, I was a teacher for the middle schoolers for 7 years. And then I came to Canada. I went to college and I did child and youth, and I did placements in schools and in group homes. And I realized that no, I don't want to be a child and youth worker. I want something that is challenging. So I went for social work, and that's where I met my people. That's where I met the young people that really I had to deal with families and work with families and work with these young people. And my heart grew and grew. And even the vision that God has given me, it's aligned with working with young people. So that is where I was coming from when I say every one of us is born into a story. But at the same time, it's easy for me, for you, for us to hear this story about young people from troubled homes and think like, "Oh, okay, I don't understand, I cannot relate." That's what I used to think. I used to prefer working with young people who are coming from challenging environments rather than dealing with my own, because I felt like, "Child, you are good." I work with children who come from difficult environments, and they still show up and show up in the world as if nothing has happened, even though they were taken advantage of the previous night. But as I was going through healing with my own daughter, I realized that I also messed up her life. Not at that magnitude, but before, I never ever wanted to get married. I never ever desired marriage, ever, throughout my childhood, throughout. And I was never that child who says one day I'll get married. No, I never desired marriage. So I always dated people that I'll tell them that, "You know what, my goal is to be a professional. My goal is my professional life and my daughter. I don't want anyone in my life. I don't want anyone introducing me to their friends, to their families, because I don't want to waste your time." So I never thought it was necessary for me to bring any man around my daughter, because I didn't want her to get attached to people that would be there this year or there for 5 years and then they are gone the sixth year. So I didn't want her to get attached to anyone. At the same time, I thought I was protecting her. So I never brought men around her, because I didn't want her to even see like me dealing with men, or like me having conflicts with men who will end up like maybe messing her up, when in actual fact they were not gonna be in her life. So I didn't do that. What I didn't realize was that I was robbing her of the opportunity. I was robbing her of the opportunity of learning what healthy conflict looks like, of learning communication, of learning how to handle relationships with a male person, of learning how to do romantic relationships in a healthy way, of learning what is healthy and what is not healthy. And I only saw this when she started dating her current partner, who's also the father of her kids, that she was struggling. And even when she was seeking help and they were going for counseling, boom, she realized that I've never been around men. So even though she has two loving uncles, one lives in the UK, one lives in Botswana, and because of life, we have never ever lived together in for prolonged periods in ways that they can influence it. So she has never ever had a male figure teaching her how to do life with men. So that for my actions, which I thought were protective of her, were actually robbing her of opportunities. Now she had to deal with things her own and had to figure out. And her poor boyfriend had to be the what do you call it? The example, or the person that she was like training and like learning to do a relationship, a formal real relationship with him. Thank God that they went through their own healing journey. But that's what I meant, that when we meet, when as kingdom citizens, we should ditch away like, what's your favorite hobby, what's your those things don't help us. Yes, this guy is cute. Yes, this girl is cute. They are successful. They have this and that. But when life hits, when serious things call for meetings, when communication is not going right, your cuteness, my cuteness won't help in any way. Your success, my success won't help in any way. We have to know how to deal with each other, and we have to know each other's stories. We have to know the stories of our family. If you marry into a family that you feel like they are so dysfunctional, zone in. Look at their dysfunction. Look at the patterns in the family. Some of it you will realize it in your partner. So having seen what is going on in their families and understanding their story, it will also help you understand your partner in a way that will give them the grace to understand that they are what they are, not because of their choice or because of their personality. They've been impacted by the environment that they grew from. Just like I was talking about young people, that I love working with young people, because I realized that these kids don't want to be in the streets. These kids don't want to be using drugs. They are where they are because of the circumstances of where they came from. So, brothers and sisters, I just wanted to share that, just to say that when we think it like this, relationships are hard. Relationships require work. Relationships require commitment. They require determination. When you choose me, know that I am not just Fifi coming by myself. I'm coming with the baggage from Canada, from Botswana. Like, I mean, like, I've gone through healing, but nobody's ever completely healed. So I feel like when we understand each other's stories and backgrounds, we are able to understand each other better. We are able to give each other grace and be able to make room in our hearts to allow our person, to allow others to grow, and even to support them, just realizing that, you know, life happens. I ain't perfect. You are not perfect. If your load is heavier than mine, maybe I can see how I can be of help to help you take off some of that load. Brothers and sisters, that's all that I wanted to share for us today. And God bless you. I will see you in the next video. God bless you all.